Fire Emblem Heroes is a dying game. Before I begin, please take a look at the upload date of this video. That's right, April 1st. On this day, I am legally allowed to clickbait you. So no, I won't be talking about how Heroes is dying like the franchise was in 2010. I'm talking more along the lines of Fire Emblem Heroes is a game about dying. Okay, now you can get up in arms against me. I've spent the past few years playing Heroes daily. I've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours into this silly game, only to realize it's not just a silly game, or your generic Fire Emblem game. It's a game like no other. A game about death. While it may seem obvious now because of Book 3's central theme revolving around the afterlife, I've been forming this theory for years. In fact, ever since Book 1. So buckle in, necromaniacs, we're about to exercise this theme from its happy anime shell. The story. Let's rewind back to Book 1. Remember Book 1? Yeah, I don't either. I actually had to go back through the story just for this video. All you need to know is that Alphonse and Sharina reminisce over dead boy Zacharias for a dozen chapters, and then we find out sexy boy Bruno may actually be living boy Zacharias. And they search for him and yada yada. It's just mindless circling around the presumably dead boy Zacharias. The main point of this is that the lost boy Zacharias is the main focus, the conflict, the goal. More specifically, his presumed death. Alphonse and Sharina have been toying with death long before they met Hell in Book 3. The whole Zacharias plotline hasn't even been resolved, which means this theme of death has been an underlying subject throughout everything beyond Book 1. It's not just Zacharias that proves this game's central theme is death. Book 2 has plenty of ghastly moments. Leg Yarn and Hellbindi sacrificing themselves, Gunthra's bonfire, and Fjorm catching the common cold. All these are major points in the plot during Book 2, and they all suspiciously revolve around death. Especially Fjorm. Girl, you gotta get that checked out ASAP. Fire Emblem Heroes is a game about dying. And of course, Book 3 exists. That story is littered with death. It literally has death herself as the antagonist. But I'm here to uncover what lies below, not explain what's on the surface. Book 3 is vital to my formula for death, though. In fact, it confirms my crazy hero's death theory that I've been forming over the years. It links to a deeper significance. That significance being the reasoning behind making Heroes so insistent on being about death. What were the developers' intentions? The developers' intent. Of course, this upcoming section is mere speculation because there are no interviews on it, and I certainly can't read minds. Fire Emblem Heroes is a game that celebrates Fire Emblem. What is Fire Emblem exactly? On the surface, it's a fantastical tactical RPG. But what's beneath this series' soil? A series that's focused on character-driven stories? Deeper than that. A series that disguises its true form, a dating simulator? Further than that. A series that's hated by its own fanbase? Deeper. A series that struggled for several years outside of Japan even though there was a large outcry for it to be localized and has essentially survived by a thread because of marketing, anime, polished gameplay, tropes, waifus, dating simulation, and Smash Brothers? Yeah. Exactly that. As a celebration of Fire Emblem, Heroes had to be a reflection of Fire Emblem itself. A series that survived death. Death is a constant looming threat in the games industry. Like every newborn game series, death can be imminent if things don't go well. And while Fire Emblem succeeded at first, later on down the line, death drew closer and closer. So close, Fire Emblem walked the line of life and death, which is incredibly similar to Fire Emblem Heroes. Book 1 was the beginning. Death was there, but only from a distance. Book 2, death drew closer and began taking lives. It became more central to the plot. And in Book 3, death has literally arrived. Book 3 is the equivalent of Fire Emblem after Radiant Dawn. Barely hanging on, struggling to survive, trying to pull through. And it did. Book 3 won't be the end of the road for our heroes. No, they will survive, they will thrive, and they will make it to at least Book 5. For however many books remain after Book 3, death will never be as big of a threat as it is in Book 3, and it's a very clear comparison to Fire Emblem's life. Does it sound like I'm reaching? Good, because I spent a long time thinking of how to connect everything, and it kind of makes sense. The story isn't the only part of Heroes that revolves around death. The entire game does, even down to its grim mechanics. The deathly mechanics. Sending heroes home? You could be sending them back to their death. Example, Valentine's Day Grail. Merging units? You're sacrificing an entire person for another. They are gone. Dead. Same with skill inheritance. I don't even know how this game gets away with this. It's flat out murder. Imagine making videos about this monstrosity. Yeah, I'm calling you Heroes YouTubers out. You monsters. Making the kind of videos where all you do is merge and sacrifice others for skills. Videos like that should actually be titled Murdering Innocent Men and Women Because I Have No Heart. I could go on about death in this game. Training Tower is about killing innocent, faceless soldiers. Tap Battle is about killing innocent, faceless soldiers with rhythm. Grand Hero Battle is about killing innocent, faceless soldiers and one soldier who actually has a name. Why does every game these days have to revolve around killing faceless enemies? These people have lives. Look at this mercenary right here. They have a family, a spouse named Jeremiah, 2 baby children named Mark and Rebecca, and you're just killing them. Why don't people care about these soldiers? Maybe the Who was right. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man behind blue eyes. Fire Emblem Heroes is a game about dying. There's so much negativity and sorrow that's coupled with death. There's enough sadness in the world today. Why did Heroes have to choose death as its main theme? Well, I for one welcome the unique take on such a delicate topic. Replicating the struggles of the series is brilliant. It allows us to reflect on how far Fire Emblem has come, and it teaches the history to those just getting into the series. We are so fortunate to have this series alive and blossoming. Many years ago, it seemed like the end. I never thought I would see another Fire Emblem console game for as long as I lived. I am so happy I was proved wrong. We live in an era where Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's largest properties. As someone who's been a fan since Path of Radiance, that blows my mind. I'm so proud of how much this series has grown. I have never been more thankful for a series succeeding in my life. Imagine a world where Awakening didn't thrive. It seems like a dark place. Thankfully, we don't have to imagine that reality. Fire Emblem is popular, and that popularity is growing. Heroes captures and tells its journey subtly and so well. Thank you, Fire Emblem Heroes. Thank you, Fire Emblem. And thank you to everyone who has helped support this series. Fire Emblem Heroes is a game about dying.